Welcome once again to the latest edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. Thank you again for taking the time to watch my videos, which hopefully you do find informative. And when you go to a local bookstore, you will look for the book that I'm reviewing for you this time out. And it is an exceptional book. It's called Passionate Mothers, Powerful Sons, The Lives of Jennie, Jerome, Churchill, and Sara, Delano, Roosevelt. This is written by Charlotte Gray, and it is published by Simon & Schuster Canada, and it retails for $39.99. Charlotte Gray is a noted Canadian author who has won great acclaim and awards for her nonfiction books. She certainly, when she writes, she puts her heart and soul into every book with information and research that is so meticulous and so overpowering. It's just an amazing work. It's over 500 pages. So if you like historical nonfiction about famous people, then this book is definitely one for you. It looks into the lives of the women who were coincidentally, there were a lot of similarities. They were both born in 1854 in New York, and they were both born into very affluent families. Jennie had very expensive tastes. She was someone who wanted the good life. And when it came to dating, she was sort of flirtatious, you could say, a bit promiscuous. And she, knew what she wanted. She wanted a lot of men. And eventually, she did meet Lord Randolph Churchill on a yacht. It was like love at first sight. And it wasn't too long after that that the two actually did marry. Now, she had her first son 7 months after the wedding. So that is a interesting, it was not something that was out there for the public to see, thinking, 7 months. Takes 9 months for a child to be born. But anyways, she did have 2 children, and her most famous, of course, was Winston Churchill. And she doted over her children. She encouraged them. It may have been a man's world, but the sons of both women were young men who looked up somehow more to their mother almost than their father. Now, Sara, on the other hand, she was very conservative in her dating habits. She was not someone who was out there. She casually dated, and she met her, future husband, James, who incidentally was almost the age of her father. So she liked older men, and it was an interesting story behind her. She had the one son, Franklin, and it was a difficult pregnancy, and the doctor advised her really that perhaps that should be her last child because the other one might cause a lot more problems, and it might almost affect her life. So, but both ladies, Jennie and Sara, encouraged their children to get into, a political life. And as we all know, Winston Churchill became Prime Minister of England. He was there during some very difficult times for the country. He was there as the voice of reason and hope during World War II. And on the other hand, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was also a powerful voice in America as he became President of the United States. And he was there during very difficult times as well, too. So the parallels are most fascinating. Now, also, both women became widows in their 40s when their husbands unexpectedly died. And so they still were there to encourage their children. They, watched them, become powerful figures. And so throughout the pages of the book, it's basically a 2-for-1 book because in not too many biographies do you get 2 people. This is like a 2 for the price of 1. And this dual biographies and the dual stories of their lifelines sort of intersect at times because while the women were very different, they were also quite similar as well too. And Charlotte Gray shows all the little intricacies of both ladies and how they affected their sons' lives, and why their sons sort of rose to power and became the men that they were. So this definitely is a book. If you like historical nonfiction, this is certainly a book. But more importantly, if you like historical nonfiction that is so well researched with just a fount of information, then this is one that you should add to your collection and your must buy reading list. So when you go to your bookstore, please seek this book out, because you will not be disappointed with it. So if you do buy it, please let me know if you do agree with my review. And I do thank you for taking the time to watch it. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Thanks again. Bye for now.